Hello, hello, Sister Colton here. Lesson 13 and this is our last regular week. Next week it looks a little different. There's not a discussion board, and some other things are a little different. So this week things are just as they've been, but we are focusing on giving back. And I think this is a perfect time. I know that we should be serving all year long, but since December we always, with Christmas around, think of serving a little more than we do other times of the year. And with the church's initiative, Light the World, I talked about in my note. If you have not taken time to check this out, there are 25 ways in 25 days to serve others. And so for each day, if you click there, there's a little, talks about some suggestions, a little video of what you can do to meet the needs of others and serve others, and there's a scripture tied to it. So day 4 is today, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So December 4th, it gives you some ideas for how you can strive to love your neighbor, and if you do this and then share it on social media, then we're spreading the word to those others in the world of ways that we can serve others. And so I would love to have you, if you are doing this in your life, and if you haven't even heard about it or seen it, I invite you to click on the link in my note and check it out and try it. And then share about it in our questions and conversation board, discussion board this week. I would love to hear what you're doing with your family or with friends to light the world. So that is a great thing to focus on this time of year, and it goes along well with our topic this week of giving back. And I think as we think of the application activity for this week, it focuses on avoiding the feelings of entitlement, feeling that you are entitled to something. And so what we're going to do is President Clark has a self-assessment. Ask yourself these questions to see if you have entitlement creeping in. Sometimes it sneaks in and we don't even realize we might have those feelings or thoughts of entitlement. After you review your answers to those questions, read the material and decide if there's one area that you could work on. And like it says, choose any 2 items you wish. Some materials apply to several self-assessment questions. So it shows you, but for the most part, it will show you that question, which some material that's tied to help you answer or work on that area. So if you are realizing on question 1 that's an area you need to work on, here are 4 different, either a video or a talk that will help you work on that area of entitlement. If question 2 is something that you want to work on, question 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to pick 2. I would say that's the thing. Can you see the 2? That is what most students miss, is not identifying 2 different ones that you're going to look into, because it has you spend a few minutes to review your notes from the selected items. And I want you to see how it says you may choose any 2 items. Then there's an error here, because then it says review your notes from your 3 selected items. You only need to do 2. So it's confusing because that is a typo that they have not fixed. And then you're going to report on 2 of your selections. So you'll download the template and answer those questions. When you look at the template, I just want to quickly, I think we've gotten pretty good at knowing, as you look at this, it will tell you lots of times when we do this, like here, type your answers into the form. What's the title of your selection? And then there's a second question. Make sure you don't just answer the first question. Answer both. How do the teachings apply to you? What is the title of your second selection, and how does that apply to you? So you'll just tell about 2 selections and then ask some more questions. So make sure you're answering both questions within that one question, if that makes sense. So that's the application activity. I think for the most part it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing I want to point out is next week is our last week. So you have this week, lesson 13, and then we have lesson 14. And there is something that you can start working on this week if you have time and want to. I'm just going to show you. Let me just go to my note. Here, the practice, this date is wrong, so this is my old note, but it's actually going to be December 7th. So I'm going to type that and show you that as of December 7th, so that is Thursday, at 12 o'clock, so really midnight on Wednesday if you're in Utah. I don't know how it relates to your time. But December 7th at 12 a.m. So when you wake up on Thursday on December 7th, you'll have access to the practice for the final exam. And I tell you right here where it's at. It's in the pre-gathering folder of lesson 14. You use your notes and you take this practice test. It's not graded and you can take it as many times as you want. So if you have time this week, or get all your assignments done early and want to start getting into that, you can as of Thursday, preparing for next week's final exam. And I'll talk more in my note for next week about all the different things that are due next week in the final week. If you have any questions about your grade, let me know. I always am grading the current week's assignments, or this week, early this week, I'm grading what was due last week for lesson 12. But I'm going to be working on doing some cleanup, going back and seeing any grades that for some reason or assignments that I graded but it didn't get published, so you weren't able to see the score. Any of those weird ones, I'm going to be going through and trying to clear all those up. So if you have specific ones, let me know. I want to make sure that everything gets graded and you get the grade you deserve. So you have almost made it, and I'm so proud of all your hard work. There's just this week and the next, and then you finished your first semester in the Pathway program. So, oh, I can't look at my computer. Good job. I am proud of you, and I hope you have the best of week.